All right. What is up? What is up? We are back with the second episode of On the Moon podcast. The first episode went great. We talked about my childhood to high school, which is pretty much the years of 1998 to 2016. I know 30 minutes is a short time, but I will explain a lot more throughout those times in later episodes. But today we have a pretty cool episode. It's 27 to 2020. Those 4 years of my life were very... Ooh, it's me from an alternate universe. I'm going to be telling you my favorite albums from each year that I talk about in this video. 2017 is going to be Hendrix by Future. Fucking amazing album. Go check that out. They were very fun. They're fun, but they were also filled with interesting choices, I will say. But first, it's only right with the Indigo. Live rosin. Shout out Puffco. Got that good Guardian Puffco limited edition. All right. Hello, beautiful people. All right. 2017. We're going to start off with 2017. That was the year after high school. That was the year I realized I was never going to see a lot of people again that I knew for the past 4 years. That was interesting, you know? I had one sibling, one little sister, but we didn't live in the same house, so it was just mostly me and my dad, and then my friends, of course. It's crazy because I had a lot of friends that I didn't hang out with outside of school, and I'm not gonna say they were friends, you know, they were more just like school acquaintances. But my two, like, pretty much best friends at my whole high school, Chris and Mowdy, we pretty much bounced off of every group, like together as a three. We just went to like every group. You know how there's groups at lunch and whatever at school and stuff like that. And we were pretty much cool with everybody. You know what I mean? Like, we didn't have no problem with people would call them the nerds, the jocks, you know, the whole, yeah, you know. I'm not trying to judge anybody like that, but when you were in high school, you obviously had labels for certain types of people. Yeah, so 2017, I tried to make friends that were outside of my original friend group, which was interesting. You know, I was hanging out with some of my cousins and like getting cool with who they were hanging out with. Not the best choice, I will say. A little foreshadowing for you guys. But at the same time, I was meeting cool people too, from cousins and friends and, you know, friends of friends, all that. Shout out T-Pills. I think I met him around 2017. We kind of started DJing house parties together. That was super fun. That was a great highlight of my life. It was a good decision. I'm gonna say it was an interesting decision because good came out of it, but also bad. I was DJing. I was actually doing something that I was into, you know what I mean? I was learning a new skill, and I was already making music, but I'm going to make a whole different episode about me and music. But anyways, I'll say I started making music in like around 2015, right? So 2017, by that time I was making music, you know, trying to collab with people, DJing house parties. I got into that. Me and T-Pills, we were doing that. Make sure you guys follow T-Pills too. He has a podcast, so run that up for him. I was partying I was like 19, you know what I mean? And you know how that goes. House parties getting, you know, absolutely demolished. And you know, I did have my fun, but then you got to know your limits. And I think there was times where I didn't know my limits, and that was like, it was just messing me up emotionally and mentally, pretty much, you know. I got into the wrong crowds. I started making friends that I shouldn't have been friends with, you know what I mean? They were on some bullshit, which I eventually got into, and then I was on some bullshit. So yeah, 2017, DJing house parties, making music, making new friends, because I just graduated high school, you know what I mean? I was like out in the real world for like, not really the first time, you know what I mean? Like, I was pretty experienced about just like society. I kind of like never went to school almost my senior year, I'm gonna say that, and I don't want to be proud of that or anything like that, but that's kind of what it was. So like, I already, you know, I was getting used to the outside world outside of school, which I wasn't really that used to prior. But anyways, 2018 is going to be Astroworld by Travis Scott. One of my favorite albums of all time. Great fucking album. Coming off that 2017 DJing house parties, making these friends, some good, some bad, whatever. I was making dumb decisions, you know? Obviously, I had the good friends, but I think I was leaning more towards being with the bad friends. I'm not going to put any names out there. I'm not going to say how I met them or whatever like that, you know what I mean? I'm just going to keep it totally private and just explain to you my life and my story. Yeah, I was a young adult. I was partying, wasting time. You know what I mean? Doing dumb shit with dumb people. That's how I like to put it. But I mean, I guess I was having fun. You know what I mean? Like, I could have been doing something better with my life, but I had fun. But eventually, I got extremely depressed towards like the later of 2018. I didn't want to do anything with my life. I was just like, the partying, everything, all that just got like super. I was like fighting like people. Like, I got in so many fights that year. It was just so stupid. All drunk. I don't like fighting. I don't even like getting to the point, you know, like where it's like even like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, violence is never the answer. Don't even resort to violence. And that's coming from a person that used to only resort to violence. I got extremely depressed. 2018, I did not want to live at all. I was like legitimately suicidal. I was going through it bad. My parents weren't together, so that was also messing with me too, because I didn't get along with my dad, and I lived with my dad, and I didn't really want to live with my mom. I tried that out. We tried that out like for like a year. I'm gonna make a whole nother video on living situations. Don't worry, it's gonna be crazy. I'm gonna have like a lot of episodes for a lot of shit. So I'm gonna try to help you guys out if I can. If you guys relate to it, please drop a like. Anyways, how I coped with not wanting to live, being depressed off just partying and shit, I made as much music as possible. That's what I did. It helped me cope a lot. Kept me at home, out of trouble. You know what I mean? I didn't really want to talk to anybody, which was fine because I was pretty locked in, you know what I mean? A lot of the music I took off SoundCloud. They're on my Instagram, like in the archives and stuff like that. So like, I'll drop some links in the description so you could like see what type of music I was making at that time. Anyway, it was just beats, by the way, too. I'm not really like too much on the vocal side of things. I was making mainly beats at that time, 2018. Yeah, and that was at the later years of 2018. And then going into 2019, 2019, so much fun. Young Thug, fucking banger. Hot? Are you kidding me? You remember that fucking shit, man? But getting a little bit better, you know what I mean? Recovering, I would say. Making better decisions, not really caring about the partying and all that stuff. I was mainly focused on building my music career. That's really what it was in 2019. I started try to get in the dating scene, you know what I mean? Tinder, dating apps like that. I started making better decisions. I started talking to girls and shit like that. I started to get back on my feet, you know what I mean? I was like, just kind of like getting away from like the party things because I was seriously making some crazy decisions. I have alright, this is a crazy story. I don't know if I'm gonna post this one, but I'm gonna try to keep it super anonymous, right? So, I'm pretty sure it was around 2018, 2019. Let's say mid 2019. I had the friend group still from 2018 that I made bad decisions with, but I wasn't really like going out with them, you know? It was more like, oh, you know, smoke a little bit sometimes and then whatever, you know, at my house, and then they'd leave and whatever. But then eventually one of my friends in that group, well, there were two friends. It was a couple. And then the boy from that couple got kicked out of the girl's house. They lived there together with the girl's parents. He got kicked out, and he didn't have a place to stay because he didn't get along with his parents and whatever, you know. And me being a nice guy, I was like, fuck, bro, like, I didn't want him to stay in the streets, so come stay with me, you know. And I didn't really tell my pops. I just kind of like pretended he was like sleeping over one day, and then like he kind of never left. But then I eventually told you know, my dad, like, hey, like, he kind of needs a place to stay, like, would you be down, this and that. You know, he'll pay rent or whatever, pay what he has to, like, you know. And it went fine for like a month. He had a job, and I told him just like, work for this month, and then next month just, you know what I mean, just pay my pops, and then like, you know, we'll just like we'll be chilling and stuff. That was probably one of the worst ideas I've ever had in my life. So the first month went by, and then the second month comes by, and he kind of is like never there because he had a job, and he met this girl at that job, and then but he was still with the girl that he was living with, right? Sorry, try to keep up. It's messy as fuck. But he was never there with the girl. He's pretty much cheating on his girlfriend, right? With this girl that he met at work. And then actual girlfriend would like hit me up like, hey, like, you know what's happening, like where he's at. And I'm like, fuck, like I don't even know, you know what I mean, like blah blah blah, he hasn't paid my dad and all this and that. So this goes on for like half a month. His girlfriend at the time asked me to smoke, and you know I was like, all right, fuck it, she's probably stressing and like needs to talk. So I was like, whatever. And then yeah, like that happened, and then she asked to do it again, and then like again. And I was a dog back then. He was pissing me off, and she came to smoke, and eventually like, you know, like things happened, and then things kept happening, blah blah blah. And then yeah, it was it went on for like probably like half a month, right? There was this time after like the things were happening between me and them. I mean, not them, but the girl. And then they were still together type shit. Like they were like still talking or like working things out. It was so messy, bro. It was so messy. It gets messier. It gets messier if you can believe that. Everything that I've said is just like not even like shit compared to what happens, bro. It's fucked. All right, so it's like a week later, after a couple weeks of me and her, right? They plan a trip to go to the beach. And they invite me. Oh my god. I'm sitting in the back seat. We're on the way. We're drinking on the way. I like pass out, I guess, like just fall asleep on the road, you know? Because not driving. I'm like in the back seat and they're driving, whatever. I go to sleep. And then like I wake up apparently that I don't remember. And they said that I was like blah 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 talking hella shit or some shit like that. And then I passed out again. And then I woke up again and I was like, we were coming back to town, right? And I was like, what the fuck? Like, why are we coming back? Like, I don't even remember going to the beach. And they're like, yeah, we turned around because you were hella bitching, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what the fuck? And then me and him started, like, arguing. And then it eventually, like, we got to my house. And then, like, it got, like, super, super crazy. We started fighting in my driveway and shit like that. I don't know what the hell. It was just so crazy. I called my friends that I met him from, and I was like, bro, come get your boy, blah blah blah. This fool's acting like a fucking psychopath. I was also acting like a psychopath. We were just like drunk, going crazy, bro. And mind you, I'm not even fully recovered from all the bullshit that was going on. I will say that, you know. And then like this shit's like going on. We're fighting in my driveway, bro. I was crazy, bro. I was crazy. I grabbed a knife, and my dad's there too, obviously, because it's like, you know, his house and shit. But he tells me to fucking put the knife down. So I'm like, fuck. So I throw the knife, and the way I threw it, bro, this dude, my dad, had a fucking 65-inch TV on the wall. It hits it like literally directly in the middle, bro. It's crazy. The aim was fucking crazy. I look at him, I'm like, I'll fix that. And I fucking switch back focus to fucking literally trying to beat the shit out of this dude. Fuck, man. Like my friend, like the friends are there. The girl is there, like she's like inside, scared as fuck, like it's crazy. I guess this dude had her keys, took her car, bro, and fucking just like stepped on the pedal on the street, and he fucking just ran into a fucking, I think like a garage and like another minivan, bro. Totaled both cars, fucked the whole garage up, bro. Someone called the cops. 20 minutes into our altercation, they get him out of the car and they take him back to my house. My house had a long driveway, a super long driveway. You could park like 1, 2, 3 cars, but and even like more across. Anyways, he's on the ground. They have him handcuffed. His face is fucking bloodied up, bro. He fucking took that L, bro. The cops were not worried about me at all. Yeah, we were still like yelling at each other from my door, and he was in my driveway. And my dumbass, I literally eventually said, so I fucked your bitch, which I did multiple times. But look, we're not even gonna get into that. Yeah. And he was like, what, blah blah blah. They took him, and fuck, I don't even know what happened to that dude, honestly, bro. But that was the old me. Literally, like, I would never do some shit like that again. That was like, I was in not even close to the right mind. I was fucked. We're fucked hat. If you are a viewer that has a we're fucked hat, leave a comment, please. Yeah, that happened in 2019. I believe, yeah, mid 2019. After that happened, bro, I was like, kind of going through it again, and I told myself, I'm like, I'm not trying to like repeat this lifestyle, like bullshit after bullshit, getting fucked up and like getting into fucking trouble. Unfortunately, that was not the last time. More to come. As 2019 ended and 2020 came about, 2020, Meet the Woo 2. Pop Smoke, R.I.P. man. That album was goated. Pop Smoke was a legend, man. My life was getting better. I was more happy. I was really not hanging around too many people. You know what I mean? Like, I was really just staying to myself. Real non-lifestyle shit. Like I was trying to mainly build myself. Like, I really, like, I wasn't even making too much music that much. I had the clothing brand in mind, but I wasn't taking too much action. I had like a couple hoodies out. I was happy. I was healthier. So I decided I wanted a girlfriend. So 2020, I called this girl that I met in 2018 in that whole crazy mess of a life. It was through Tinder. I met her through Tinder, and like we were like on and off, you know what I mean? Like we had like a thing, you know what I mean? Like we were like hooking up, like we would hang out, like go do things, but like it was never like a relationship ever. And eventually we stopped talking for like a year. Like 2019 was like really like I was like on that loner lifestyle. I was like, fuck, I really need to work on myself. So I need, you know, I was building myself for 2020. I eventually called her. I used my dad's cell phone because my number was blocked. Yes, that I was that committed. Yeah, I eventually like got her to hang out with me. We hung out like for like almost 6 months before like I really like actually asked her to be my girlfriend. Maybe 8 months, you know what I mean? But I've known her for like a long time, you know what I mean? So like it wasn't really like right off of Tinder and then we started dating. It was like I got to know her. I didn't really know her family, whatever. I did get to know her family, but yeah, we started dating in August of 2020. And it was cool, you know what I mean? It was like super like honeymoon love. Like it was my first relationship, and it was like damn near her pretty much like first like real relationship. I've had girlfriends in the past, but they weren't like, it wasn't like actually like we were like trying to like, you know, build something like a future and stuff like that. It went cool for like the first half of the relationship, like the first so after August, I would say like 4 to 6 months, it was nice, right? And then after that, shit just started getting weird, bro. So she wasn't the only problem. I was a problem too, you know what I mean? I was going through it with my dad at the time, like because I was living with him in 2020. I'm not trying not to like go out of timeline here. Started dating 4 to 6 months after that. So it's like pretty much getting close to 2021. Things are getting rocky. I eventually like move out of my dad's house. I move in with one of my buddies, and you know, things are going good. I actually like, it was one of my best times of my life, like living there, you know, even though my relationship was like a little rocky, you know what I mean? Like I still had like, it was like one of the best times of my life. Like it was like almost a year I was living like pretty much like on my own, but at my friend's house. But anyways, there was this 1 month, like one whole month, bro, that she like did not, like she pretty much turned her phone off. I didn't know what was going on. Like I think halfway through the month she sent me like this text, like it was like a weird text. It didn't even make sense. I was like, what the fuck? Like what the fuck is going on? Like literally like we were talking every day to like out of nowhere, no contact for a month. Like it was the craziest shit to me, you know, like I was going through it, but I was like holding it off like well, you know what I mean? Like I was like, all right, you know, she's gonna be back, like telling myself good things. And then I had two buddies, you know, that I was like, I would hang out with all the time, and they're like, bro, like you need to like fucking cut her off, blah blah blah. But I didn't listen. I should have listened. I went and dropped off a package at her house, like just in the like on the porch or whatever, and I left, you know, and that's it. That's kind of like the only contact in that month that I had with her. So that month went by, and then she eventually like called me back or texted me back or some shit like that. I was like, what the fuck? Like what the fuck? And she explained what happened. I'm not saying any names. I'm only telling stories. She said that she went to the mental hospital. She went to the psych ward for the whole month, and like she was like losing her mind. She thought people were like after her. I don't know. She wasn't on drugs. I really do not think she was on drugs, because we would smoke weed, bro. Like I'm almost 100% sure she wasn't on drugs, but she had like this episode for this month, and the shit that she told me was insane, guys. Like, it was crazy, and that was the biggest red flag out of all, and I still didn't fucking listen to the red flags. Oh my god. I was in love. I was like really in love. You know what I mean? It was my first relationship. Telling you, it was like a complete honeymoon phase. She came back and explained all this shit to me. I'm like, what the fuck? And the doctors literally told her that, like, they put her on 5150, if you know what that is. And they told her that she pretty much is schizophrenic, or might be schizophrenic. I don't know. I should have bailed. I should have fucking took my shit and ran. Literally. I didn't. I fucking thugged it out for so long. Literally, like, 2 years. I was, like, trying to keep that relationship together. Literally, like, taking everything out of me. Guys, like, I told you I was depressed in 2018. The depression and the dark hole that I was in from this relationship does not compare to the fucking depression that I was in from fucking partying. I swear to fucking God. Oh my God. It was the worst. It was the worst thing ever. Yeah. I was also going through it with my dad at the time, so it like mixed in, and it was just like completely terrible. A lot of arguing after like the first like 6 months, 7 months of the relationship. So that's pretty much going into 2021. I'm just gonna continue it into 2021. So yeah, it was a lot of arguing. I was like we honestly did break up like a few times, and then we got back together. It was just like it was just such like toxic, messy shit. Like, she always thought like I was cheating on her, and I would tell you right now, I don't know if like any of you believe me, but I really never cheated on her. I would literally come, that's crazy, pause. I would literally tell you guys right now, like, the truth, like, if I did. Like, I don't even know if you guys believe me. I'm trying to be open and honest on this podcast. Like, this is the past. It's like 4 years ago. Like, it's nothing to me anymore, right? So the arguments would be about everything. There was this point where we got a job together. That was probably the worst idea ever, because she was also like not getting along with her parents, so she was like staying with me for like most of the days out of the week, most of the weeks out of the month, I will say. It was crazy. Like, it was just like we needed time apart, but we didn't want to give each other time apart. It was that toxic. And I want to talk a little bit about that, because this podcast is about helping people. If you are in a toxic relationship, I'll try to give you 3 tips on the top of my head. This is totally unplanned. First is take time apart. And I'm not saying go fucking party, just go fuck other people, like go crazy and shit like that. Like, I do not mean that at all. I mean, take a break from each other and just focus on yourself. Like, get into a new hobby, take walks, eat healthy, you know what I mean? And just get your mind right, and like figure out what you want to do, and figure out if you can do what you want to do and be happy and still have that person in your life and be happy. Another thing, meditate. I want to fucking promote meditation in like every episode. I feel like I want to do that. So if I can, I will. Meditate. I swear to God, bro, like, think, like, really get down deep in your mind and think. Watch the first episode. It'll teach you a little bit how to meditate. I'm not a spiritual advisor or a fucking therapist or a doctor or anything like that. I'm just a person that has experiences. So I'm going to share them, and if you think that qualifies me to tell you about it, so be it. Meditate. Get your mind right. Think like what can you do to fix the relationship, if it's even fixable, you know what I mean? If it's too toxic, bro, just leave. Like, even if you leave, you guys might even get back together, but don't bank on that option, you know what I mean? Like, you can never love anyone if you don't love yourself. And I feel like that's pretty cliche. My audience, I feel like you probably already know that, but seriously, like, you really need to fall in love with yourself. If you're in a toxic relationship and you need to leave that relationship, or you are in the process of that and you're watching this, take yourself out on dates. It's literally the most refreshing, just like, it's so awesome. Like, you might feel uncomfortable at first. Like, start slow. Like, go to a restaurant where they have a booth and just ask them, can I have a booth to myself? Like, no one will see you, no one will give a fuck, and no one's even thinking about you, man. Like seriously, that's all in your head. Anxiety is literally like, sometimes it's like almost like narcissism. Like, we think everybody's looking at us, but why are we so important, right? No, like, we're not. Like, we're just the same as everybody else. We're all human. Literally, the people that you think are looking at you and judging you are probably looking at you thinking that you're judging them. That's how it works, right? Take yourself out on dates, you know, start small, go to a booth, go to a movie, you know what I mean? That would be fucking perfect. Eat your fucking favorite fucking food. Try not to do shit that you guys did together unless it's something that you did by yourself before you guys got together. Really focus on yourself, man. Like, can't stress that enough. Those are my tips if you're in a toxic relationship, from my experience. I should have left way earlier than I did, but it's all good. It's whatever. That was my 2020. That was my 2021, and that was my 2022. We weren't really together for 3 years, but we were locked in for 3 years. 3 years. Like, those 3 years, but then I knew her for 2 years before that, pretty much, right? So it's like, you know what I mean? And it was like every day, all day we were together during our actual relationship, and then it was off and on after that. Like, we'd block each other, unblock, call each other, like, so messy, so toxic, so bullshit, right? I'm not proud of it. We had our good times, we had our bad times, but I'm just happy that we hopefully have both moved on, you know? I do still think about her sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, but it's like, it's not anything crazy. Like, I'm not trying to hit her up. I don't want to talk to her. Like, I just hope she's doing good, you know what I mean? And that's that. And I do still have love for her, I will say that. Like, it's nothing, it's like no hate, no ill will or ill feelings from my side. But with that being said, that is 2017 to 2020. I told you it was gonna be a little interesting of an episode. I'm not sure how much time we're at, but I'm going to end this one, and we're going to continue with 2021 to pretty much 23, maybe. We'll see. Thank you for getting to know me. I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. Before we head out, you know, we have to, please, you beautiful people, if you have anything that you would like to consume right now in terms of Zaza, please do so. Yeah, and if not, water, tea, your favorite beverage will work, and also your favorite blanket. Cheers.